have to talk about the Boston Celtics, who are heading into a Game 7 with the Philadelphia 76ers after being up 3-1 in this series. The Celtics are in major trouble. This is not the same team that we saw in the regular season, with and without Jason Tatum. For the first half of the regular season, Jaylen Brown's being placed in the MVP conversation by many. And rightfully so. You're missing Jason Tatum. Many people are saying, hey, they may take a step back this year in the Eastern Conference. It may be a gap year. Instead, they were a contender in the Eastern Conference. And the offense was smooth with Jaylen Brown leading the offense with Derek White, Peyton Pritchard. And you have Kata at the center position, who was a monster in terms of just going out there, getting dunks, getting to the free throw line, and being a very good defender. You have Sam Hauser, very good three-point shooter. One of the best three-point shooting wings in the NBA. Jason Tatum comes back early from this Achilles injury. He suffered that torn Achilles injury last year against the New York Knicks. He returns within 10 months. Comes back, looks phenomenal. The offense gets yet another boost. And it wasn't one of those situations, Jason Tatum, you take your turn. Jaylen Brown, you take your turn. They got everyone involved. You have a bunch of open looks at the three-point line. Jaylen Brown is a very good player in terms of going downhill and putting pressure on the defense. The three-point shot is inconsistent. Well, here comes Jason Tatum. So they ended the regular season on a strong note. They didn't even play their starters for the last game of the regular season against the Orlando Magic. And they beat that team. For the first 3 games of this series, there's no Joel Embiid. He's out with an appendix issue. He had to have appendix surgery a few weeks ago. So you win game 1, 123-91. This is how the Boston Celtics look in the regular season. 31 assists to 8 turnovers. They'll get the job done. 36% from 3, and they were red hot from 3 in the first half. With Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and the same with Peyton Pritchard. They put a lot of emphasis on the 3-ball here. And it's the Joe Mazzulla team. He lives and dies by the 3. He's obsessed with the 3-ball. The 76ers, they were 17% from 3, 39% from the field. In the second half, they did lighten up on the 3s here, but their defense was phenomenal with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and Kata at the center position. And game 2 took a step back. Now, I will say this about the Boston Celtics. Since they've had this duo with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, whether it's Joe Mazzulla being their head coach or Ime Udoka, they'll just have some weird losses in the playoffs, and you're not going to be perfect every single night from 3. It's just impossible. You're not going to shoot 38% every single game in the playoffs. This is not a video game. But they shot 26% from 3. They had 53-point attempts in this game. And this is my one problem with Joe Mazzulla. This has always been a problem with him as a head coach. You would think that he will alter his game plan. Let's get away from the 3-point shot. Let's put a lot of tension on the interior defense. Let's try to get to the free throw line. Let's settle for some mid-range shots. Instead, he's still having Kata set screens for Jason Tatum. Take those 3s. The same with Jaylen Brown. You can see him on the sideline. Come over, set the screen. The player's wide open. Shoot the 3 top of the key. He'll have a nice play to Derek White. Corner 3. He misses the 3. This is just a terrible offensive game. And they had a lot of costly turnovers in the second half. In game 3, 108-100. You win this game. 42% from 3. 47 3-point attempts made. And it's one of those situations, if they're making their 3s, perfect. If they're missing their 3s, then you can complain. Once again, you live by the 3, you die by the 3. But the problem with this game plan, this is going to get you hurt. For the simple fact that your offensive players, your top offensive players, haven't shot well from 3 over the last 2 games. And Jason Tatum did have to exit the game for a couple minutes dealing with a leg injury. He came back later on in the matchup. And when I say the top offensive players aren't performing well, Jaylen Brown has had a lot of costly turnovers within the last 3 games. Derek White so far in this series, every single game, he has been horrendous offensively. He is still a very good defender, can bring the ball up the court, can help orchestrate your offense. But Derek White in the regular season, he took a step back. The 2024-2025 season, he was phenomenal. 17 points a game, 44% from field, 38% from 3. This year in the regular season, 32% from 3, 16 points a game, 40% from the field. So you would think, let's have Derek White go out there, settle for some mid-range shots, get to the paint. That hasn't been the case. 37% from the field in game 1, 25% from the field in game 2, 40% from the field in game 3, game 4, 25% from the field, the same with game 5, and game 6, he shot 40% from the field. His 3-point shooting entering game 6, 25% from 3, 7 of 33 from 3. He's been a non-factor on the offensive end. And now you have Paul George and Tyrese Maxey. They're leaving him open. They're not worried about him. They're putting extra bodies on Jaylen Brown for the simple fact that he cannot make his 3-pointers. And now he's turned the basketball over at a high clip at half court. And now you're putting Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to that playmaking role. You want Jaylen Brown to not be placed into that role because he'll have a lot of turnovers in the game. That's still a weakness with Jaylen Brown. He still struggles to find his own shots here and there, even though he's still a premier player in the Eastern Conference. You want Jason Tatum to be that playmaker. But at the same time, Jason Tatum is still not 100% coming back from this injury. That's why it was important to go out there and give him reps on the back half of the regular season. When he had to exit tonight's game in game 6, the offense was just putrid. They couldn't make a single shot without him. They couldn't get to the paint. Just had a bunch of turnovers. And if you don't believe me, let's go back to another game here. In game 5, they lost 113-97. They could not stop Joel Embiid. He had 33 points. Tyrese Maxey had 25 points. They're not helping Vucevic in the post at all. Joel Embiid's in one-on-one situations. And when they do swing over, Joel Embiid has the wherewithal to pass the basketball out of the post to Paul George or Tyrese Maxey because their defense has had a lot of breakdowns over the last 2 games. But in game 5 here, they had 11 points in the fourth quarter. They missed 16 straight field goals. 16. They were 13% on shooting in the fourth quarter. 3 of 22. They shot 28% from 3 in this game. 11 of 39 from 3. And once again, you have those costly turnovers. So now they're getting easy points on the offensive end. Paul George steals a basketball from Jaylen Brown. Lackadaisical pass. Or the same with Jason Tatum, he's double teamed. Tries to get the basketball out of Derek White, he's not paying attention. They're not playing with the same effort that they had in the regular season. And since Derek White, who is supposed to be your best guard on your team, the defense is still there, don't get me wrong. He's supposed to step up in these moments. Since he's not able to step up, they have to bring in Peyton Pritchard. Well, Peyton Pritchard, very good 3-point shooter in the regular season. So far this series, not as much. Had 1 good 3-point shooting game. His defense is always terrible because he's undersized. He can't stop VJ Edgecombe. He can't stop Tyrese Maxey. And for whatever reason, Paul George, 36 years old, is playing great defense on both your wings. And Joel Embiid has gotten healthier. That first game, he was terrible defensively. They took advantage of his late rotations. A bunch of corner threes. They're just rotating him over. They're putting him into action. And that was smart by Joe Mazzulla. This is why I don't think that he should be fired even if they blow this 3-1 lead. You should always keep him around for the foreseeable future. I still think very highly of Joe Mazzulla. The man just won a championship a few years ago against the Dallas Mavericks. They're getting a lot of good looks from 3. They just can't knock down the shots. And now you don't have anyone in the front court that can stop Joel Embiid. He's getting whatever he wants. And he may have 19 points in a game. He's still bringing attention to the paint here, getting to the free throw line. So the Celtics go on the run. Here goes Joel Embiid. He kills the run. 2 free throw attempts. More than likely, he's going to make his free throws. And he can shoot the ball. Kata hasn't looked good the last 2 games. The same with Vucevic. And your role players, they're not stepping up. And Peyton Pritchard, and the same with Baylor. Jordan Walsh, he's been solid. What's funny here, in game 6, the bench played better than the starters. But at the same time, the 76ers, they're up by so much. They're up by 20 points in this game. They're saying, hey, just let them get whatever. Let's just run this game out. The best way for the Celtics to win game 7 is for them to hit their 3-point shots or for Joe Mazzulla to alter his game plan. But your best player has been Jason Tatum. And it shouldn't be this way. Your best player should be Jaylen Brown. And when it comes to Jaylen Brown, I know in game 2, he had 36 points, 5 of 12 from 3, 9 of 12 at the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. That's a very good game. Back-to-back games here for Jaylen Brown. But since Joel Embiid isn't back on the court, hasn't been the same player. The last 3 games, he's been terrible from the field. 6 of 15 from the field, 20 points, 3 of 7 from 3. Then he had 22 points, 9 of 23 from the field, 1 of 4 from 3. Tonight's game, 18 points, 7 of 17 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. and he had 5 turnovers. 5. And it's not to say that Jason Tatum has just been a perfect player. He hasn't. He's had some bad moments also. But he's not having the dumb fouls and the dumb turnovers like Jaylen Brown here. At least his defensive effort has still been there. They're not switching over on screens. Just a bunch of wide open shots for VJ Edgecombe, and the same with Tyrese Maxey. There is no reason for Tyrese Maxey to have 30 points halfway through the third quarter. There's no reason. He has 21 points entering halftime. We saw that with VJ Edgecombe in game 2. Just cooking their guards. They shy away from Derek White. Let's target Peyton Pritchard. Let's put him into action. And that's why Joe Mazzulla is hesitant to play him with big-time minutes in the postseason. I still believe that the Celtics will bounce back, that they will win Game 7, but it's going to be tough. And if they do lose this series by blowing a 3-1 lead, there's going to be a lot of questions here with the Celtics roster. Not with Jason Tatum, not with Jaylen Brown, and not with Joe Mazzulla as their head coach with the outside pieces. And I'm looking at Derek White here. I can see if he just had a bad postseason run. You were bad in the regular season on the offensive end. So this is just a down year for Derek White. They will easily move on from him and they'll bring in another player. We've seen the Celtics do this before. When they can't get over the hump or they feel like, hey, you're the weak link here, let's bring in someone else that can help us out. And when you pay attention to the 76ers team, they built that team to defeat the Boston Celtics. You have Kelly Oubre, very good defender, can get to the rim on a consistent basis. He can be a pest too. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, he has been. The same with Paul George. Joel Embiid, just this big paint monster. VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey, 2 very good offensive guards. Tyrese Maxey on the defensive end, it's not great. But he's a willing defender, especially in the passing lane. VJ Edgecombe is a good defender. So it's going to be a fun Game 7, but let me know in the comment section below. Do you believe that the Boston Celtics can close out this series? They should have never been in this situation to begin with. And this is why I always preach, especially in the playoffs. It doesn't matter if it's baseball, basketball, football, wherever. Every game matters. They should have took advantage when Joel Embiid was out. They should have won Game 2. And I know, coulda, shoulda, woulda. But they should have won that game. You win this game, now you go out there, Joel Embiid comes back, you're up 3-0. This series pretty much wraps. And this entire first round, especially in the Eastern Conference, has been fun. At least the team has won 2 games. I'm just here for the competition. But if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys to stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.